Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Happy Hour. I'm Bill.
I'm Toby.
We are here to talk crypto. Will Solana go to 400? Should you be buying the dip? Will the market go up a lot after the E word, which we won't say because we know it's naughty? What can you expect for altcoins, right? Like Bitcoin may go. And we have ace analyst Miss Toby here to help us out. All right.
I'm trying.
While we just have a cool chat about crypto.
I kind of miss the tequila though.
Right.
Well, I should maybe put tequila in my coffee.
All right. Well, we're working on our beverages in the afternoon. We're gonna have to I have to do the right shopping before we get going.
I'm not a good day drinker. It makes me sleepy.
All right.
But I figure tequila and coffee.
Yeah. I mean, in crypto, I'm sure it's 5 o'clock somewhere. We want to welcome Jordan,
Hello.
a member over on on Crypto Noble. Welcome. And we have Mr. Singh is here. Hello. Welcome to the show. Right. We appreciate you. Okay. Who do we see winning the E word? Okay. Well, let's put it this way. Ms. Toby has said it's tighter than you think. Okay. We know who's currently favored in the betting market. That could be the most likely outcome. However, it's not known how long it could take to get the outcome.
I'm thinking 3 to 5 days. Yeah. Which is why I think the market could go a little wonky, leading up into it. And I think this last little burst we saw was maybe related to people thinking, oh, it's a sure thing, but it's really tighter than anybody imagines.
Okay. So translating that, people FOMO'd, right?
Yeah.
People FOMO'd, and then they're going to get some sort of corrective dip, right? Which could be, could shake them out a little bit, especially in altcoins, right? A lot of which, I don't know, some of which have done well, some haven't, right?
That's the beautiful thing about the decoupling, right? Because there's always opportunity if you look. Always.
Right. Or as Miss Toby says, shopping. It's all about shopping in the next 5 days.
Yeah.
I don't know who the winner of the E word is going to be, but
it's going to be really, really close. It's interesting. I just put some cards on it, and the cards are not super clear. So,
okay. Crypto, no matter what. That's my attitude. I don't know. We'll find out what the ace analyst here thinks as we go through the show. Forget about it is here saying, let's get after it.
Yes.
Let's get after it. All right. So the first thing we want to address maybe is all the recent FOMO around Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went up a lot. Mm-hmm. Huge volume going through BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, staggering.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Bitcoin did not make a new high. Went to like 72K and then stopped.
Yeah.
And ETH, right? And we're waiting for Solana to get above 180. So,
yeah, it's and this is why, we came on over a week ago, because there's going to be some volatility. And I think because it's been so bearish for a while and people are really bearish about everything, that people get really excited, but then then right after that, they get afraid, so that's, again, I just look at it as shopping opportunities, when there are these dips. And I don't think we're going to have, right around the election, I think there'll be some fear because it's going to be so close. But after the election, then people will calm down,
Right. The elimination of uncertainty sometimes with markets, regardless of the outcome. I would strongly prefer if Gensler went away. I think I can say that.
I think there's a good chance that he is, no matter what.
That he is, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, bye, Gary.
Bye, Gary. We'll
yeah.
throw you a going away party.
Yeah, Gary. We'll
I'll
get
bake you a cake.
Yeah, we'll get you a cake, and you can stick the cake right on top of your cardboard box. Buddy.
Yeah, and I mean, it's really good news. I'm super excited, for next year. It's funny because I'm like, oh, this quarter, I already feel like in my mind, it's kind of played out. It's really just a matter of, exact timing, right?
Right.
But yeah, after the election, when everything takes off, that'll be a really good time to look at your portfolio and see what's not performing. That's the best thing to do when you get a run, like this thing with Bitcoin going up. It wasn't big or long enough to really show the big losers, but it is a good thing to see, what's going up with it,
Right. And the answer to that is, so if you want more, I know we got members in here already. You want to check out the YouTube member program that is over on my channel, which is a collaborative effort of the two of us. So you want to go check that out if you're looking for specific picks. For the month of October, Miss Toby was hot on Solana, Jupiter, and Radium. We had that early on, right? And our Patreon members, that's the middle tier offering. They actually did very well.
Oh, good. That makes me happy.
Yeah. And, lately it was real world assets. Checks.
I was super happy to see that because, I've been talking all summer. I'm like, we had a little bump with them the beginning of the year, but I really feel like they were underplayed. And so, a good time to pick up a lot of these would have been the summer when they were really, really low. But we still have, if anybody wants to look at a particular chart, real world is a good play. AI again is going to be a good,
cross chain,
especially later. But again, while it's low, this is the time to get in. I can tell when something's getting ready to move,
go.
and so if let's just say you have 3 to 5 AI coins, when it starts going up, that's when you want to pull out, the ones that aren't performing and hit the beginning of the wave. So that's what you kind of want to look at now, right? In all of those buckets.
Right. Because, a lot of stuff on Coinbase has not performed yet.
Surprisingly.
Right.
Yeah.
Patreon members and in the Patreon store just got our real world asset and AI report. So make sure you check that out. We're going to get something going for the YouTube members on that as well.
We'll probably do like a portfolio report is what I want to do.
Right.
Because we got so many good ones in there.
Right.
And so, in a few days we'll go through that as well.
Right. We're gonna shop heavily on the dip in a major way.
Yeah. Exciting.
And I think one of the keys is, Solana taking out 180. Believe it or not, Solana has been battling to take out 180 for 7 months. Right. It's hard to believe we all survived that long.
Bigger the base though, right?
The bigger the base, the higher in the space.
And it's hard not to get, I guess, disappointed when you have high hopes. But if you were lucky when, and you got in when we were first talking about it, which was over a year ago, you're still way up. So that's good. It was what, like 20 or under 20?
Right. We got in at 19. And, if you look at the whole history of crypto, it doesn't pay to get off a moving train. And a lot of times in bull markets, they lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're screaming at people to, wake up. We've covered a lot of like what we think the hot sectors are in the member group. I think people really want to know, hey, are altcoins actually going to come back? I can't
believe it. People really ask this question. Of course they are. What's different now? Sorry, I'm like I got a little hot. I took a walk this morning. I'm like, it's very muggy here in Austin today. But yeah, part of the decoupling, and that's the exciting thing, is that there's always things moving. These sectors move independently of Bitcoin. So like we saw a big AI, especially AI, the beginning of this year,
Right.
end of last year, what was really huge, and it moved way more than anything else. And then it calmed down, and then, so we're going to see these surges. It's really interesting to look at, to get a snapshot of what the market was doing in May and June, because that was an interesting time when everything was really kind of flat,
Right.
or down.
Right.
But there were some coins that like hit higher highs in May and June than they did in March.
Right. Maple was doing well, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's
which is another top DeFi pick that we have, right? Aiken is here. Welcome.
Hello.
Jordan is noting that, when Coinbase is trending as an app, that's when retail is getting involved, when people are downloading Coinbase on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've seen that. I mean, we've seen Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. I mean, they're raising another $42 billion to buy more Bitcoin.
Yeah. And I think the reason that ETH is lagging is just it's not getting that push that Bitcoin is with the ETFs. So, but it will, when I talk to people I know that are not really, into crypto, but they're curious about it. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, I've been seeing a lot of headlines about it lately." That's probably a sign, that we'll start seeing more people come in, and so the Coinbase coins will probably
do better.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's the end of the year is kind of an odd time because the holiday shopping and stuff like that, but I still think Coinbase will pick up before the end of the year. So we'll look at that when I feel it's getting closer, But really, this the surge that's going to happen after the election, and this traditionally happens in the markets after every single election. Almost everything goes up because that uncertainty goes away, right?
Right.
And then we have an extra little push because of everything that's going on in China, right? So
that's they're doing 1.5 trillion in stimulus.
Mm-hmm.
Individual investors are way long stocks, way bullish stocks, excessively so, believe it or not.
I know, and I'm waiting to see. So this isn't like an exact prediction, but I feel like something weird's going to happen in the stock market next year. So we'll see.
Right. And people are just...
Because I do think stocks are way overvalued.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw something today that if they go to a tariff-based system for funding the government, like the price of laptops could go up like $400. Right.
Mm.
So, I mean, that has the ability to affect stocks. Governments don't always governments don't always do the right thing, regardless of who you may like or not like.
Yeah, tariffs is such a weird thing. Because really, I love how they talk about it as if it's a tax on a foreign entity, but prices passed on to consumers. It's just a way of disguising a new tax on you, the consumer.
Right. And, it's really interesting to me that, like I said, people are giga-long equities. There is talk of no tax on crypto transactions because crypto's like money, right? You don't get taxed if you go from dollars to Swiss francs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you should get taxed on going from one form of at least the money part of crypto to another.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, I know that's going to revive Solana because people are issuing stablecoins on Solana.
That's a very exciting trend.
Yeah.
And I think that'll just keep getting stronger and stronger, which will be really interesting because I think that'll be a problem. It feels like that could be a problem for the US dollar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the good news for the government is that, they're taking the treasury, the stable coins are buying treasury bills and treasury bonds to back the stable coins. So Uncle Sugar should be okay with it. You know, green fiat, as I call it, probably needs to fall just organically.
Yeah.
And I do remember you saying gold seemed toppy and wasn't your jam. You know, the possibility for Bitcoin picking up and like getting close to the market cap of gold itself. I mean, that puts Bitcoin at like 250,000. I mean, you know, we were talking about 100 at the end of the year, right? You were talking about 125 next year. You know, those targets laughably are now lower. They're on the low side. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, everyone's catching up to us. And when these altcoins catch up, like you said, just to remind everybody, you know, Toby was like, you know, Bitcoin decouples from stocks, altcoins decouple from Bitcoin, right? And we've seen
that's a narrative I've had for like almost 2 years, right?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. So,
and you know, I was just wondering if altcoins can wake up without ETH waking up. I don't know if ETH wakes up first or ETH wakes up last.
See, that's such a challenging question for me,
right?
Because I don't see altcoins as a whole, something separate, moving all together,
right?
Because of the decoupling. You have to ask me about the different sectors, and that's why I like talking about the different sectors and telling people what I think is going to wake up next. What I think will wake up, like real world assets. I think real world assets are definitely going to be stronger than gaming, but even gaming is big. I think gaming is going to be big next year. Oh my God.
SUI came out with a handheld.
Yeah.
SUI's got like a Game Boy. Bitcoin's got a Game Boy.
And the more we get these, you know, and Solana had the phone, and the more we get that technology out there,
right,
the better that it's, you know, the easier it's going to be to onboard people into the system. So excellent. Next year is going to be a huge year. I think a lot of volatility, but you know, we'll talk about it more as it gets closer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the FOMO and MicroStrategy stock right now was unbelievable. Like the Bitcoin miners are starting to catch up. You know, this whole
excellent.
You know, especially one like HUD-8 that's into AI, right? You know, like crypto stocks themselves. It's funny. Like you got a lot of retail investors chasing meme coins. You know, you may have huge gains in crypto stocks, right? And then of course everyone's going to ask, you know, what meme coins should I be doing? You know, should it be like Pepe or should it be Solana memes? You know, is it the new ones? Is it the old ones? You know,
I think there's going to be some new ones, you know, because I think that happens, you know, a lot of the, you know, new coins come out, you know, like the GOAT coin was really excited. I feel like it's kind of topping, but there's probably a little more room for it, you know, so if you missed it in the beginning, I mean, the energy around meme coins is so much harder to predict,
right?
Because there's so much more. I mean, there's a huge amount of volatility. Things can change within 24 hours. So it makes it really hard for me to say, you know, how long, you know,
right.
But if you can catch something really early, I think the AI meme coins is a big narrative. So I would look for something around that, you know, because AI is also a really big narrative.
So
and
like
I think it might hit first.
So AI meme coins. Let me just see if I can find meme coins here. So AI.
I don't know which ones are AI, but
right. Yeah. Well, we don't exactly know, but AI meme coins will be back. I'm super interested in DEGEN again. DEGEN came out, went off, corrected.
Where is it?
DEGEN
there it is.
DEGEN
it's only down 2% today.
Right. Well, no, that's
the hour. Oh,
so
okay.
Like it just go today. You know, everything's kind of red
it's
today.
Up a little bit.
By the way, happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh yeah. This is my costume.
I'm dressed up as a crypto analyst.
I'm a hippie, but then I always dress like a hippie.
Right. This show
or
is
boho.
This show is inadvertently sponsored by Free People.
I know, literally almost
Like,
everything.
Miss Toby has more free people than free people.
Probably.
Mr. Singh is talking about Scotty AI.
Okay.
You know,
Fart coin.
yeah, that was the sequel, the AI that made Goatcoin.
Okay, I wondered about that.
Fart.
Yeah, because I've
Fart
seen it.
Fart was its follow up.
Let's just look at the chart for fun. Let's cover some meme coins because I think
Right,
we covered the sectors that everybody should look at and everybody gets excited about. We could even pick 3 if people want to ask about 3, and I can do the old altcoin showdown that I haven't done in a
you
while.
guys. Okay, so are we going to Fart Coin?
Yeah, let's look at fart coin.
All right.
Oh, look at that. So give me 1 week. Okay, give me the month.
Yeah, so I mean, this is like all these coins, right? There's a super huge pump, and then whoever's running in the background has to sell the meme coin to add liquidity.
Yeah.
Right, and then it goes down. But once it turns around, I don't know. Sometimes these things can just smoke. Right. I mean, I know some guys who are puking out AI coins. There was a meme of the thing that created Truth Terminal. Truth Terminal is the name of the AI. So
I actually did some research into that whole thing. So that the AI didn't actually create the meme coin. He came up with the name, and then some person made it up. So
right.
But they are talking about having them do that, which I think would be really interesting. Anything. I mean, people like meme coins. So
right, and
whatever.
I think NFTs. I saw somebody talking.
So you
NFTs are next.
Oh yeah. I'm not feeling that. I think NFTs are going to be something different, but this is more of a long-term thing. I wouldn't. I mean, if there's stuff, do what you love. That buy what you love. That's what I always say. But so, what you want to look at DEGEN? Does anybody have any?
Right.
Another 2.
Mr. Singh has Scotty AI. Okay. Trisha is here. Pancakes and peanut butter in the house. So I mean, you could do Scotty AI, DEGEN, and
anybody else?
I don't know. We could do. You wanted to look at Fart Coin, so
all right, let's do Fart Coin.
Right.
Okay.
Scotty,
so
DEGEN.
Scotty.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Scotty, DEGEN, Fart Coin. Okay, let's do
Altcoin Showdown returns. Let's
Scotty,
it's come
DEGEN,
off the screenshot. Okay. So Altcoin Showdown or Memecoin Showdown.
Memecoin Showdown.
Yeah.
Scotty, DEGEN, Fart Coin. Here we go. Hanged Man, DEGEN. You might be right. Fart Coin. New money coming in.
Right. So watch out for Fart Coin if it turns around.
And DEGEN, it looks like it'll come. So of these with the cards, I would pick Fart Coin as the best pick, but none of them are bad. So
all right. Yeah, none of them are bad. All right, so that's good to know. DEGEN is something that I'm interested in if we have issues with social media. So, I think we can talk about other sectors without.
Does it say what's up with Quant?
What's up with Quant?
Yeah, I haven't looked at that in a while. Let's look at Quant.
Okay, well, I'd have to pull it up here. Okay, go on to screen share.
Okay. If you could show me 3 months, that's really useful.
Okay, that's back to March.
Okay. That's even better. Ooh, I'm not seeing any pimples.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I think what's going on now is I'm wondering if people are starting to give up and do tax loss selling early. You got a lot of people, you got a lot of coins where people are just packing it in. That's what it feels like. I mean, I don't know if that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a very pretty chart. I wouldn't put any in it. And again, it depends on where you bought. it, I mean, it's slightly above its lowest low, but not very much.
Right. I mean,
and it's moving down again. I mean, if you look, to me, how the slopes look, right? It's
right.
like it's not pimply, It looked like there were a couple trying to start, but the lows just keep getting lower, and to me, that's always a bad sign.
Right. And just so everyone knows, Miss Toby has lumped teacup and handle, head and shoulders bottom, and the bigger the base, the higher in the space, as kind of these rounded bottoms, which she refers to as pimples before it pops, which is, everybody has their own way of reading charts, and Miss Toby's is pretty good, particularly with the bubbles, right? Quant was billed as a stablecoin platform and possibly an alternative to XRP. It looks like everybody wants to go do this on Solana.
Let's see what so is this on Solana?
No, this is not Solana.
Oh, okay.
That's Solana.
Okay.
This is Solana coming up now.
Oh, look at that pretty one.
Right. So that's Solana going all the way back to May of 2023.
That looks very nice.
There's your, go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, you were saying Quant was like, what?
Quant originally was supposed to be something that was going to help like Latin American countries create a stable coin network. It's like
kind of like, no, but you were saying it was similar to
XRP.
XRP, that's it.
Right.
Let's look at XRP then.
Okay.
And so we can compare the waves, right?
Right.
Or the pimples or whatever you want
the
to call
lack
it.
of them. Okay, so XRP is this just like giant sideways thing. Right?
So the really low right there, yeah.
Yeah.
When was that?
July.
Okay.
Right. So, XRP just cannot, I'll let you comment.
No, it's fine. Because there was a time where, over the summer that I was like, I think it will come back. It doesn't look horrible, but I'd like to see that end pop up a little bit more. Again, this is kind of similar in that although the lows are not going lower than the previous lows, they're
Right.
still higher than, but they're not much. It's almost looks like a flat line, but with a couple of pop-ups. So I like XRP in general.
Right.
And it's something, I would hold for a really long time. And so then you don't have to worry about this so much. Because I don't think it's going away. I just don't.
Okay. Well, that's more hope than most XRP people think right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look pretty right now.
Right. And then, there's ETH. We discussed ETH. But I don't think I've showed you ETH. So
No.
ETH has this like
Not
flat line thing going on.
Yeah.
That's long-term ETH back to February, just for laughs. Because I know you like a lot of history. Here's monthly ETH. Let's see if I can get this. Okay. Yeah. So that's ETH monthly back to 2021. I don't know. And that's ETH weekly going all the way back, right? So ETH is like completely flatlined and is just boring everyone to tears. This is just painful.
Yeah.
Right. So.
But I expect that to change after the election. So I'm not too worried about it.
Okay.
Not again, for me, ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, those are just things that you put in your HODL portfolio and just don't really think about them too much, except for if you want to buy more.
Right. I just remember when ETH took out 175 back in the day. ETH took out 175, it went way up, then it came back down to 175, then it went to 400.
Yeah.
Right. That's DEGEN, by the way.
Okay.
That's why I'm I'm on my bigger the base, the higher in the space kick with DEGEN. I mean, it was all the way up here at the hype zone in March. You know, DEGEN finished second in Memecoin Showdown tonight. Take that off so we can talk.
And yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's, I mean, I'm like, again, I'm not a meme coin person,
Right.
and I know you are. It doesn't look horrible. I mean, it looks like it's trending up a little bit, and there's potential. For me, I would wait for the pimples, you know.
Right, wait for bigger development. So that leads to another idea of, you know, crypto has been boring. You know what I'm saying? Like meme coins are exciting, but crypto has been boring. You know, Bitcoin is exciting, right? But I mean,
Well,
is crypto going to get wild again? Like,
why is Bitcoin more exciting than others?
it's just getting more press because of the ETF, right? And it's a slow moving breakout.
Well, see, that to me seems more boring. And again, I have a really hard time with you lumping all the other coins together, because we've had some exciting stuff going on the past few months. You know, we've had a lot of picks that have done 50% or more increases in a week. That's exciting,
right? I mean, you know, you got Aleph, Radium, Jupiter. I don't know. Let me just look at without showing it. Let's see. You know,
so I don't know this thing about it being boring. I don't think I really agree with that, because, you know, that's why we have our Patreon and our YouTube premium memberships, is because things interesting going on. And boring time, and there was still some stuff. May and June, we had a couple of sectors that, you know, took off and beat their March highs. You know, so there's always something going on, and that's why I like to tell people to look at things by the buckets, you know, which is what I do. That's why I like the banter bubbles, because you can, to me, it's a way of seeing in a sector a whole movement of things, you know. So
coins, we got Aleph, Maple, Radium, GNO, real world assets. We got Ohm.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
You know,
so that's good, right?
Right.
There's always something going on.
Yeah, there's always something going on members. You know, for our members, the QR code is there on the screen.
And I think one of the best things is that with the membership, you get kind of like the early part of the wave before it hits media attention.
Right.
You know, so it's good, but I don't think it's boring at all. So I totally disagree with you. I think there's a lot of exciting things going on. What's boring is if you listen to grandma and let her out of the closet
and get bearish.
Just keep grandma in the closet. Don't watch the news or listen to what other people are saying that are, you know, I don't listen to any news virtually, and very little. I have a couple of people that I will listen to on crypto, including you.
Right. Thank you. Appreciate that. I mean, don't let them get you bearish. I mean, I think when people get upset is when they've got coins that haven't moved, because there are, you know, some coins smoked, right? I think because they were under owned. This is always the way it works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If no one owns it, it smokes higher, right? If everyone owns it, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, one thing that you talked about cleaning the closet out, right? Like,
leave grandma in there.
Right. But leave grandma in there. But I mean, if we're going to clean out, that's bearish grandma, by the way. And of course, that's not a real person. That's metaphorical for trust and safety.
It could be my grandma, but she's passed.
Okay, right. So no people in the closet. But, you know, I'm sure a lot of people want to know when to clean out, right? Do you clean out after the rally? Do you fear missing out? Because I sensed serious fear of missing out when, you know, some coins took off, but the ones people were holding, say, from the last cycle didn't. Right.
Yeah, I think again, these short bull runs,
right,
it's harder. I wouldn't suggest it then, really the time to clean out. I mean, there are multiple times to clean out. And I think that's what we do, in the YouTube premium. We talk about what we're moving out and all that kind of stuff. But a really good time, if you don't want to check more regularly, is when there's a good bull run. It lasts for at least a week. That's a good time to go, okay, what's not moving with this? And I like to go by sector, because I think the decoupling, you can't look at an overall market. So
if a sector hasn't moved, maybe you don't clean out because you have to wait for the sector to move.
Yes, that's what I would recommend. And that's why, we have our portfolios divided into sectors in the YouTube premium, because you want to compare it with like types. That's the easiest way to do it. But if you're not doing it that way, that's a lot more complicated, and you have to really work on it at least once a week, right?
Right.
But if you aren't, if you're more like a laid back hodler, then wait till there's a good bull run in the layer ones, especially Bitcoin, because everything kind of pulls up with those. That's when you look and go, okay, this has been underperforming, especially if it's been underperforming for 3 months or more. It could revive, but it's not being carried with the energy of the moment. And for me, this is all about, and that's why I like comparing sectors, because similar types of coins have moved together. The sectors will tend to move together. And so that's, and that happens in the stock market as well, right? So it's not an unusual phenomenon.
Right.
And that's how I would clean out. So you can clean out by sector, or if you don't want to do all of that trouble, then just wait until there's a big bull run in Bitcoin and look at what's underperforming and maybe get rid of that.
Right. I mean, you had a pretty decent run. I mean, bullish sentiment was as low as 40 3 weeks ago. Now it's at 79. That probably needs to correct itself, right?
There's, I'm sensing a little bit of fear and a small dip. I mean, we're still in uncertainty with the election.
Right.
The good news is we've got, it looks like the ETFs are really moving, and that'll help. And, but when you were talking about boring, I think as these ETFs come out, we're going to see a lot more stability in the coins, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so it's
not
going
wild.
to get,
Bitcoin's not wild anymore at all.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's good. I mean, for those of us who got in really, early, and then that's a good thing, right?
Right.
Because we can forget about it, just leave it to the side. It's not something you'll have to look at or worry. That's how I feel about Bitcoin, ETH, and now Solana.
Right. Solana may be set and forget for 400, right? Because, I mean, if it
will hit 400. I mean, it will. It will.
You heard that, right?
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
no, I'm talking
when is always the key, and when is it difficult? I don't feel it happening really soon.
Okay.
What are we looking at?
No. I just wanted you to see the comments. Okay. So, I mean, Solana 400, is that like, I don't know. Sometimes.
Yeah. Ron says, I don't think it'll be much deeper than this. And that's what I've said. Actually, I can't remember, a few weeks ago is when I said, this is as low as it's going to go for a while, but we will see dips, but they're just going to get smaller and smaller. And that's what's happened the last month and a half or so.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Solana 400, a lot of people are still looking at this 100K in Bitcoin. I mean, I had somebody to say, this is about altcoins. If Bitcoin goes to 100K, that could ignite so much excitement in crypto that's when these altcoins actually pick up. Because believe it or not,
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Google searches for Bitcoin, it is about as low as it can go. I mean, people are just not interested. So, I mean, can you imagine how high this thing would go if when retail actually wakes up? And
and it's going to be a huge thing too. I mean, the one thing that's really, really interesting is, a lot of my friends now that I'm into crypto, and a lot of them say, "Oh, I'll just get into the ETF," and I'm like, "Why?" But that is going to be pushing the Bitcoin and the Ethereum market, and because it's going to be boring. It just is. Once the ETFs are there, they're just going to stabilize it because there will be a constant influx, and we're not going to have this huge volatility. But who cares? Because there's so many other coins that we can look at. For me, that's a good thing. I'm like, maybe I look at, and I do, really, really still buy dips in Bitcoin and ETH,
Right.
because to me, it's like a no-brainer, right? It's going to go up,
Right. I mean,
who cares how long it takes, right?
Most of the volume on crypto.com, which is
the ETF.
No, crypto.com is like a crypto site like Coinbase, except it's basically all on a mobile device.
Okay.
And they have a lot of altcoins that they don't have on Coinbase. Like, for example, if me and you wanted to do Rune, we would either have to go to Kraken out of Canada or crypto.com. Crypto.com, most of their volume is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like that is the extent of the lack of interest in altcoins.
Well, okay, so you say,
okay,
when you look at things that are easy to get onto,
right,
like you can buy, this is what I tell my friends who just do not even want to understand much about crypto.
Right.
I'm like, just, you can get it with PayPal, you can do the easy thing. Even Coinbase is really easy to get on. So the movement you're going to see on those easier to get on platforms is going to be the newbies coming in. Right. And so they don't know about all these other coins.
Right.
So they're going to stick to Bitcoin and ETH because they heard of it. And frankly, that's what I tell a lot of my friends. I'm like, listen, if you don't want to learn about the market, just do Bitcoin and ETH and be done. And think of it, like you do your stock portfolio. It's kind of a set it and forget it. It's easy. You can buy it so many different places. And, and still they'll say to me, well, maybe I'll have to get into the ETFs. I'm like,
well, they're going to have a Solana ETF.
But soon,
So Solana is, and that's why, I'm talking Solana like.
Oh, yeah. So like, when there's a low, you want to, when there's a low, you really want to get on the Solana train or buy every dip, because I too believe it's, the ETF is coming very, very soon. And so then there won't be the volatility. So just plan on it. And then again, it's, for me, those are when there's a dip, I just get more, those are the things that you want to keep adding to and not really play around with too much.
Right. And then there are other layer ones, right? There's
I'm super excited about those. Yeah.
Right. We're super excited about layer
SUI,
ones.
Yeah. We hit SUI before it really took off. And I do think that is going to be an interesting development for next year, that we're going to see more layer ones, more options, and that's exciting.
Right. So we talked layer ones in the member area, right? That's layer ones. Let's look at the month of October, because it is the end of the month, right?
Yes.
There were,
and Heart we've been talking about for a little while.
Right. Heart we talked about. Ohm is a layer one for real world assets. That's over here.
Yeah, and we like that.
Right. SUI finished up 11% for the month. Ironically, Aptos beat
it was down. So hopefully people picked up more on the Aptos. Yeah, a lot of these newer ones we have on in our portfolio.
Right. There's, and ironically, there's ones from the previous cycle. Like, I know one YouTuber is really into Algorand, but that's kind of hurt people. Some people dumped Algorand to move into other coins.
And I think we're going to see that. It's interesting what's happening with the layer ones.
Like Phantom, it's almost like, I think what you're saying, I mean, near down 20%, that looks kind of attractive.
That does.
I think.
And Dusk down too, that's.
Right. Dusk.
I mean, there's a few. Yeah.
But
I'm really focused on AI right now, because I feel like that's the next one. But if there's stuff you like that is not one of the top three, this is a good time to pick it up, because as we can see, a lot of things are down still.
Right.
And the new stuff. So if you find some new project, a new layer one that's coming out and you're excited about it, that would be a good time to get in, because I think we're going to see a proliferation, and not all of them are going to win, but in the next year.
Right. And then moving over here to AI, right? You know, this is the month of October. So virtual over on base just, you know, went bonkers. 0x0 is down. That's privacy layer one. I mean, I think that the gist that I'm getting from you is that, you know, AI with a theme like AI and real world assets, or maybe, I'm sorry, layer one with real world assets, layer one with AI. A lot of this stuff from the last cycle, like outside of, say, I don't know, Solana, they may not make it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, with the new layer ones?
Yeah. Like
it feels to me like early days of the internet, where you had a lot of
go ahead, keep it.
like, there's so many, like Jasper, Google, you know, all of those.
Right. Ask Jeeves,
Yeah.
Yahoo, AOL.
Yeah, there's like a proliferation of them. But these, you know, so there will be new ones. If something exciting comes up, we're going to see them change, but we're not going to see, you know, Bitcoin and ETH will ever go away. Those will never go away. But there's always new ones, you know. There's always new browsers and new things happening. And I feel like the layer one, well, I always explain to people who don't know that layer ones kind of feel like internet to me.
Right, the rails of the internet.
Because
right.
But until everything gets picked up, I feel like they're going to play like these search engines, you know.
Right.
And you know, I don't know.
No,
I can't translate to English.
Well, I mean, what it is you're talking about it being like the infrastructure of the internet, right? In other words, it's going to be how people are going to use Web3, which, you know, we desperately need for a variety of reasons, and content, you know, virtual. I mean, that's a little bit different. That was a mechanism for creating AI and gaming assets, or just proving who owned what.
And that's why I like cross-chain stuff too. It hasn't really hit, but keep watching that, especially next year, right?
Right.
So
yeah, we have a cross-chain. We have cross-chain in layer 2 in the member area. We're also, from listening to this, it sounds like a layer 1 report is coming soon. We'll probably get something in both the YouTube member area and Patreon. You know, maybe what we can do is decide like what stays and what goes, right? Because I mean, this is AI. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, you know, what I'm wondering is like, hey, is the stuff that's up, is that Mr. Market's way of telling you that, you know, the stuff that's currently up is the stuff you go with? Right. Well, I mean, I know we talked about clean out. This is the opposite of clean out. Like, what do you?
I can't, I have to see the pimples before I consider a buy. I do think we're seeing a trend. When you see something up 500% in a month, that's a good sign. For me, seeing so much down when I know that this is going to take off, then this would be shopping for me.
Okay.
So you might want to, if you haven't already, get into some of these bigger ones. Again, case by case, I'm going to look at the things before I would decide to put more into it. But I have some classic favorites that are all down right now.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So it's really,
it's shopping time.
Yeah, it's shopping. Anything that's up less than 20% in a month is probably a good idea. And if something gets flushed out, which, you know, like flush outs happen, like it happened to SUI, right? I mean, the market is not such that you don't get a chance to get involved. It's not like the train leaves. I think people are so used to that.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you were around for the last cycle, in some ways it's a disadvantage, because, you know, that thing was like the train left and it was gone. Right. It just all happened in 6 months. This feels different.
It is.
It is. And it's more frustrating to people because people want immediate gratification, and then they want to sell and quit their day job.
I know, and
it's not like that.
I mean, I think there's still going to be things, and that's why I think the meme coins really exciting for people. But I don't know. I just have a different perspective on it. I mean, I see so many in here that look really good. It's like, I'm like, ooh.
Right.
So stuff that I really like. So, but again, I would look at the
chart. So we're looking
just for fun. Let's look at the virtual chart.
Okay, let me.
Can we just do it? You have CoinGecko? No.
Yeah, I can get the CoinGecko through Banter.
Yes, it's easier for me to read. Yeah, I like 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
see, virtual. Look how beautiful that is.
You know, virtual.
And we started talking about this a long time ago. So.
Right. I mean, virtual. I was a fan over here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got washed out along with everybody else. You know, this sort of like collapsed and died, and then just exploded, right? And then
but it's at a dip right now, so you know, not a bad time, but it did hit. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Miss Toby likes flag patterns.
I'm glad you have a name for it.
Right. She likes up and consolidate. Anything that's gone up and consolidate. Like Solana's a classic case. Virtual's a case. You know, I've seen you look at a chart, and if it goes up and then it goes sideways, you're like, ooh. Right. So I mean, that's also known as, you know, BTFD and anything that's working.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and I tend to do that. I mean, I'm less speculative, I think, than a lot of other people. I'm not looking for the hot new thing, you know, like GOAT that's going to go way up, and you know, well, I don't like that narrative because I don't think it's good for the market in the long run, for the crypto market overall. I want to see people seeing this as a long-term thing. Play with the memes all you want. I know you like to play with the memes. I don't, because I think that this is a really super easy, friendly way to get involved with tech at an early stage and in a much cleaner and better way than buying stock. And
right.
And so that's my vision, and that's why I don't really care about the meme coins.
Right. And that's part of the reason why I tune in, and I'm sure a lot of other people tune in, is because, you know, like I look at the tech part of crypto, and I just, you know, you're looking at this like day in and day out, and I'm like, oh my God, this just trades so awful. And you know what? You can start talking yourself out of stuff. You know, you're like, God, is this thing ever going to break up? Is it ever break out? Is it ever going to go up? You know,
that's why you have me, because I'm always positive.
Right. You're always
because
positive.
There's always, I mean, what we perceive is based on our natural neural set point, right? And this is why I tell people lock grandma in the closet, because if you're constantly exposed to negative and you're in the news, because I know, you know, you got your other shows and you got to talk about that stuff. I'm not, which is great, because I can always find the good in things, and I find it because I'm looking for it. If you spend all your day listening to crazy grandma and you let her out of the closet, it's going to tell you to do the wrong thing, because the right thing to do is always the opposite of what everybody else is saying. And I know I say this like every single show, but it's like,
well, I mean,
I love it when people are like, oh, crypto's horrible. I'm like, yes, buy more, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, I've taken it sort of a tone that even if the news gets you down, you know, don't let the news get you down. Get the news on the green button, which is, you know, an emoji you can get in the member area. You know, Ron is saying there's so much to gain in layer ones. It's still in its infancy.
I totally agree with you, Ron.
Right. You know, Caroline is let's giddy up. Let's go.
Woo, Caroline.
Let's go.
We got to get more girls in here. I mean, love you guys, right? Love you guys.
Right. Well, the girls who are in here, they're
the smart ones.
They're the super fans. Like they're like, smart ones. You know, Toby's on the air. Drop everything. Clock out early for lunch.
That's sweet.
Right.
That's sweet. You know, I hope they find it useful.
Yeah, I mean, I find it useful, right?
I know you
Solana,
always like when we do a show together.
Yeah, I mean,
You
Solana.
got a lot to talk about that.
Yeah, I guess some stuff to talk about. Solana at 400. I mean, I know when Solana goes above 200, they're going to be talking about Solana 1000.
Do you want me to see 400? You can bring it up. Because I know it's going to hit. It feels like it's a long way away, though. So.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's a lot of...
Do it on CoinGecko. That's so much easier for me to look at without all the messy lines.
Okay.
It's the second.
Right.
There. Yeah.
Okay, so we're bringing up...
keep talking about Solana 400, Solana 400.
Well, that is the
I
title
can,
of the stream. So if
yeah,
people have
let
tuned
me
in,
see if I.
All right, I got to share the
can,
screen here.
Do a max for me on that one. Thank you. Oh, that's
Okay.
really nice.
Yeah, it's radical. So Solana started at 3 cents along.
It looks very pimply to me.
Right. There's all this like thrashing down here. Right.
But it's still really stable. See, the bottoms are not going much lower. Now, okay, now do 3 months.
Okay, so this is live TA on Solana.
Yay. Okay. So I think the next 3 months will be like this. So I think where we are now, I'm just going to show you, Bill, and you can explain it to people.
Right.
Where we are now here
Uh-huh.
is this. It's like this part of it.
Okay. All right. So
you
what?
Can translate. Now you can use your fancy Magadget and translate what I just said.
Okay. So what Miss Toby is saying is that, you're going to start off here. You're going to have a nasty dip. And then the part where Solana goes straight up, which may be March or January.
I'm thinking it'll be, maybe a March.
A March thing.
Yeah.
Right. So that's when the Solana Phone comes out.
Oh, so, there you go.
So, Solana.
So if people want to know when it's going to hit 400, then I guess that would be a really good time.
Right. So, Solana flash dip, come back, sit, hopefully for not as long. So you may have to sit up here, but Solana 400 is coming in. You know what? That makes so much sense because, everyone wants it to go up. Everyone wants the meme coin frenzy. But the thing about bull markets is sometimes they can make you wait. Like Warren Buffett, hodler types like you, they're like, oh, wow, I could just go play golf or go do.
I know, it gets really exciting.
Go shop at Free People, and it's going to go up.
You think Warren Buffett shops at Free People?
Well, I think he's more of a Brooks Brothers kind of guy.
Probably.
Okay.
You don't know what he does in private.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Could,
but he's
wear
got a lot
a kimono
of cash.
or something.
He sold Apple. He sold Bank of America.
I know.
Have a nice day.
I think this is really. There's going to be something that happens in the stock market next year. So a lot of these that are really topped out.
See you.
Time to take the profits and put them in crypto.
Yeah.
It feels very, very overplayed, and for a very long time too. So
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know if there's a higher the top, the worse the crash. I don't know if there's this term for that, but it does feel like, and there's something's going to happen with the dollar too. So next year's going to be fun. So make sure you're good and solid with everything.
Yeah,
we're going to see some wild stuff.
Get your bags packed. A lot of times if you have a new party taking over, right? Like, believe it or not, the party on the left is better for stocks. Right. And then when the party on the right comes in, I don't know, sometimes they have to clean up whatever problems that there are. And actually the stock market doesn't do as well. A lot of people are completely convinced that if the person that they like gets in, so if you have
historically the stock market immediately after the election, no matter who wins, traditionally it goes up. It's like a relief from, right? But yeah, like you said, the cleanup or whatever, if it's more right, there tends to be more financial issues, historically, money, debt, stocks, all that kind of stuff. So,
Right. Debt, foreign exchange. I mean, a lot of the big hedge funds. One guy said all roads lead to inflation. I think all roads lead to what you're talking about, which is sector rotation and changes in currencies because of debt, right? I don't know. I think
it's why I
inflation
keep saying to people, next year's going to be kind of a crazy year. And it's like, put your money in the pantry. Don't keep it in dollars. Don't keep it in the green stuff.
Yeah, well, no. Last time you said
stock your pantry.
We talked about this.
I'm not.
No, I mean,
but
listen,
I'm talking about like real goods.
Right. I mean,
so if you need a new car, might be a good time.
Right. You talked about. I mean, you mentioned
you need a new
on a member stream. You mentioned canned goods.
That was my joke.
I know that wasn't right.
That's not me being a prepper. I'm not a prepper.
But you've never.
But I'm just saying. This is not a good time to have a lot of cash sitting around. Put it in something.
Commodities, crypto.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean,
whatever.
Crypto is the only thing that's undervalued. Maybe silver as well. I mean, silver is not done what gold is done, but that's boring.
Yeah, gold kind of feel. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it does feel like it's at a high. It's not quite so much. I don't know much about it, but I think those are all great. I mean, my big thing is crypto is what I love, but it's not a bad time to think about, shopping too.
Right. Well, it's shopping in crypto from money you've
with
made,
the especially electronics and stuff like you're saying. If the tariffs keep coming back and the dollar is going down,
right?
Black Friday's coming up.
Yeah, you
maybe buy. I'm shopping for some electronics because I know stuff's going to go on sale.
We got to get a new monitor, so we're both not like.
I'm like, it's just a good time to shop for electronics. Always, I shop for electronics in the fall, but also, not bad if there's things that you're thinking about, and it's a good time to stock your pantry, buy canned goods. I don't know, whatever. Not in the prepper sort of way, but be so liquid in fiat.
Right. Well, the big hedge funds that are almost as smart as you, a lot of those guys have been on the tape talking about. I mean, they haven't talked about what's going to happen with green fiat, right? They still think they're safe in tech stocks, which
I don't think it's going to be like soon. So probably, but again, I do think tech stocks have been really overvalued.
Right.
So
you got to watch out.
I would be taking profits, right?
Yeah.
It's a reason why Warren Buffett got out of a lot of it.
There certainly is, right?
Because he thinks, like me, they're way overvalued, and it's time to look for the fun stuff,
right? Which is crypto. So, no getting depressed if your bags haven't moved.
That's right.
Make sure you get your bags packed.
Yes. Because the holiday season is coming up, and Santa Crypto is going to be checking who's naughty and who's nice. So be nice.
Get your bag packed. Make sure you come over. We do a lot of sector picks along with market stuff. We actually tell you what to do in a way, not investment advice.
We tell you what we're doing, what we're looking at. I mean, on this show, it's really great, because we talk about sectors and movements, and I hope I give people information, to look at the trends that are coming. But what we do in the premium is we name names and
get to the point
and get details, and look at movements of singular coins, which we don't do.
And we have altcoin overtime inside Patreon, right?
Yes.
So just pump some coins into there. So, please go check all that out. All right, people, we're gonna wrap it up there. Obviously, thank you, Miss Toby, for your insights. You out there, you know what to do. Don't let anything in this market shake you out from doing it. Right? No fear.
Be nice.
Be nice.
The holidays are coming up. Santa Crypto is coming with his little bag, so leave some cookies and milk out for him, because this is going to be an awesome end of the year. It'll be worth all of the pain and suffering you've been going through. And hopefully we can help people.
Right. All right. Well, Mrs. Claus, free people, Mrs. Claus has spoken. Okay. We will see you next week. Members, we'll see you soon.